Public opinion polls confirm what many of you hear from your constituents. Most Americans, without regard to party affiliation, agree that our country is headed in the wrong direction. And that's about the only thing they do agree on these days, because we're deeply divided on almost everything else. It also has become clear that the solutions are not going to come from Washington, D.C. In fact, Washington, D.C. mostly seems to be making the problem worse. Fortunately, there is a solution. Hi, I'm Rob Natelson. I'm a former constitutional law professor, a historian, a member of ALEC's Board of Scholars, the author of ALEC's Article 5 Handbook, and I moderate the Independence Institute's Article 5 Information Center. I also have a political background, so I know something about practical politics. America's founders predicted that our country would someday face a crisis like the one we face now. They also predicted that if Congress was part of the problem, then Congress probably wouldn't act to fix it. So they added a procedure to the Constitution to allow the state legislatures to bypass Congress and address the issue directly. According to Article 5 of the Constitution, 2/3 of the state legislatures, that's 34 in all, can force the calling of what the Constitution calls a convention for proposing amendments. This is a kind of task force we've historically called a convention of the states. It's a meeting in which state legislatures send delegations to confer with each other and to recommend solutions to particular problems. Conventions of the states are limited by the states themselves, so they can focus on the most pressing issues at hand. A convention might consider recommending federal fiscal reforms, for example, or a change in federal operations, or some combination of those subjects. If a majority of states at the convention decide to propose constitutional amendments, then those amendments go back to the states for ratification. The ratification procedure is exactly the same as for any other amendment. You need approval by 3/4 of the states, that is 38 out of 50, for any amendment to become effective. The convention process is a powerful tool for reform, perhaps the most powerful constitutional tool we have. And the founders designed it to be used. In fact, one reason we're in the mess we're in now is that we have not used it. In the next videos in this series, I'll answer questions about the convention process. I'll describe exactly what it is and how it works. I'll also respond to some myths promoted by people who either haven't studied the procedure adequately or who, for reasons of their own, want to continue on the present disastrous course. Most Americans, though, want things to get better, and they recognize that the federal government cannot or will not do that. But the state legislatures can lead the country in the right direction, just as our founders intended.